So,
All right. So which you brought up Baylor track. So now I got to tell my Michael Johnson story.
please do.
All right. Michael Johnson is my favorite sprinter and one of my favorite athletes because I ran track in college.
I'm gonna pause you real quick. So whenever we talk about if there was like a piece of sports accoutrement that we could have from anywhere in sports, it'd be Michael Johnson's shoes for me. I wanted from the '96 Olympics.
I might fight you.
That's fine.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. Over the shoes that I have now.
It'd be our Anne Hathaway.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
Okay. So Michael Johnson is going on this radio show where I've been a guest, right? It's on satellite radio. And the producer of that show, who I'm friends with and I follow on Twitter, he usually tweets out the rundown and the interview lineup. Michael Johnson was on the interview lineup. This is not regular. This is a Big 12 show about whatever Big 12 sport is in season. Mm-hmm. So I tweet at him and everybody else like you do. I'm like, tell Mike to tell the story of Clyde Hart clocking him 0.4 of a second slower in his 200-meter split in a race that didn't really matter, but would have basically given Michael Johnson the fastest unofficial 200-meter split in history.
Right.
And how he messed that up.
Like, all right, so you sent me this to me too, and I don't know what I was doing, but I didn't get it. So why is that important?
It's like scoring 30 points in a basketball game, but your coach only gives you credit for 22.
Okay.
It is like, yo, coach, I scored 30. I think your foot was on the line for a couple of them threes. That kind of thing.
Okay.
And because he's unofficially keeping score, right?
Okay.
And let's say that nobody had ever scored 30 before.
All right.
Okay? It's a new number. Nobody does it.
I mean, okay. So these are coaching mind games. Is that what it was? All right.
So I know about Baylor track because I'm a nerd, but also because the head coach at TU, Steve Gully, was cross-country coach for Clyde Hart at Baylor, right? So we run Baylor's system at TU. So not only am I familiar with the system that he is running, I'm also familiar with just the lore around Baylor track and field, for which Michael Johnson is the best sprinter ever produced from that program, in a program that has produced a ton of great sprinters.
Right.
Also, shouts to anybody running the Baylor system because that means you're already fast because it ain't going to make you faster. You're just going to get stronger. You're not going to get faster. That's a different system.
That nobody comes into their own at Baylor.
No, you just graduate to running the 400.
Right.
Because, like, before Michael Johnson ran the 2 and the 4, people ran the 1 and the 2. You don't go 2 and the 4, you go 4 and the 8. You know, it's about being able to battle lactic acid, right? And sprint your guts out and puke. Okay? It's a really, really difficult race to run on your body and to train for. So to be fast and to do it is unheard of, and fast dudes that did it came out of Baylor. Okay. So I sent this and a couple other things that I was saying, y'all need to ask Mike about these. And I think it went over all of their heads because it is real deep. Because I'm sure that, like, 0.4 of a second, what's a big deal? You ever seen somebody lose by 0.4 of a second in 100 meters?
0.4 of a second. So you told me about this dude that was at Oklahoma State not too long ago. He was like, "Oh yeah, no, he's this dude. He was really fast. I was really proud of him. He's a connection that I've made. Did the 100 in something like 10-1." And I looked at you and said, like, "Is he okay?" Because 10-1 seems to. I didn't want to say slow. I'm not fast, but you know, you hear 10-1 for a big time conference sprint. I'm thinking, oh man, he must have had like pancakes for breakfast, or
my
shoes
favorite.
weren't right.
You know, the one that gets trotted out the most now is that Jerry Jeudy ran 11-1 in the 100.
Yeah,
and it was like, Jerry Jeudy's slow. I'm like, first of all, Jerry Jeudy ran that as a true freshman in high school and didn't run afterward.
Right. Oh no, he showed up in like some Air Max 95s and ran an 11-2.
Right. Second of all, it's not slow. It's just not really fast. Right? Because like the other thing about that is,
Don't call me unless it's 9.8 or below.
Baron Browning, who's a linebacker at Ohio State, all 240 pounds of him, is running like 10.6
That's gross.
as a senior. Right.
Wait, how big?
Like 240.
Okay, that's about Xavier.
No,
Carter.
that's flat. No, Xavier's like 195. Xavier Carter is not that big.
Who am I thinking of? Doesn't matter.
Because Justin Gatlin was like 165.
Right.
Mo
Okay.
Green was like 185. 240?
No, it's big. That's big and fast.
What?
There's not a police officer. There's not a full-time police officer in America that catch you.
Or wants to. Or wants to.
I don't know. There's.
So Michael Johnson tweets back at me with the story, and he says, "We learned shortly after that Coach had an unusual way of keeping time, claiming that other coaches don't know how to actually calculate the splits." And he laughed about it, like gave me the laugh emoji, and then he followed me on Twitter. So y'all can't tell me nothing. Because one of my heroes not only got what I was going after, answered the question, and then followed me on Twitter. And it's Michael Johnson. Anybody ever seen or heard Michael Johnson speak? It's a businessman. It's an erudite man. It is a no-nonsense man.
Right.
So for him to take time to do that, which is something he doesn't necessarily normally do, also meant the world to me. Probably doesn't remember that I met him for the first time at a meet at UTA when I was sophomore in college. And he was there watching another athlete run. But like, my man gonna be calling like the Tokyo games or whatnot because he's Michael Johnson. And he still looked like he can run. Like, sprinters usually get fat. Like, because why not?
I ain't sprinting no more. Right.
Michael still looks like he could go out there and drop 45 in the 400.
Okay.
Which is flying.
Then we got the Elder Games, Elder Games. Ooh. But don't they have the... They got those, right?
They are beneath him. They're called Masters. It's the Masters races. You don't want no part of that.
Master races.
You don't... Right. Exactly. You don't want no part of that.
I don't want any part of that.
No. Like, when I ran the... when I was running all those 5Ks and I was winning stuff, right?
Yeah.
I take the age group... Like,
yes.
The rapture happened. We're still here. I take the age group in the 5K and the Tulsa run. Okay? Like 20 minutes and like 8 seconds or something.
Right.
And I'm like, cool. I didn't feel good. I think there are too many hills in that course. I'm not running it again. But I checked the time. Cool. Give me my trophy. I'm going to go home now. I checked to see the 40 to 45. Them folks pumping out 17-minute 5Ks, 18-minute 5Ks. I look at 35 to 40, 17-minute 5Ks, 18-minute 5Ks. I look at 30 to 35, 17-minute 5Ks, 18, 19-minute 5Ks. And I'm like, oh, okay, so we all just got a little heavy during our 20s, and then we went back and recommitted ourselves to the effort.
Pretty much, if I'm no runner, everything that I've heard is one of those, running sucks, and so you kind of have to really want it.
Right.
It has to be a part of you as opposed to just a hobby. So everybody that's 35, 45, 55, they're very hardcore about it, and they definitely want to do it. They want to be it. So yeah, of course they're like 17, 18-minute 5Ks because they were they're built for it.
Running does suck. And I ran workouts. I'm not out here necessarily wanting to run 10 miles a day like I once wanted to run 10 miles a day. Like, I got my road work in on the step mill.
I was going to say.
And then I would run my workouts. And that's what made me fast. And I would hit the treadmill and I would do workouts on the treadmill when it was cold or whatever. But, like, I was trying to go win stuff.
I like to keep my self-flagellation a little bit more literal rather than running.
I like to have both.
Man of culture. All right.
Wrote the book, make the YouTube channel, win the 5K.
Yeah.
What?
None.
National TV. Some other stuff didn't happen.
Yeah.
Super Bowl commercial.
What we're gonna do? We're gonna make you a championship belt with just a whole bunch of nodes in it. So this is for a syndicate. Like one's for like you hit in so many episodes, you're syndicated, and like another one's for international broadcast. Another one's for like a HBO show. Another one's for
what I was leading toward, right? Was I still need to be able to pin Louden Swain.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, for real? Okay. Somebody
Talk to me about it.
Somebody flipped the table. Vision Quest.
Help me out here.
No.
I just woke up like 35 minutes ago. Help me out here.
Vision Quest is an 80s movie about wrestling, among other things.
See, that's okay. That's a movie that is on my queue of stuff that I need to follow back up on. So yeah, nope, I have nothing about Vision Quest.
All right, well, Louden Swain wanted to drop weight to go and wrestle Shoot, and people called him crazy to his face about it. Talking about why you want to die, why you want an early death. You're doing so well. Hey, stay at 198. Why are you gonna drop to 165?
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Shoot, the dude that he wanted to wrestle, this man put logs on his back, and then went up and down bleachers. Mm-hmm. And there's this iconic scene where Louden Swain goes to Shoot High School to see the man with this big log on his back in his wife beat and the blue shorts and these high socks, just looking the part with the crew cut, and he's sweating, and he's marching up these steps to this really great ominous music, and Louden Swain calling about, talking about Shoot, and his buddy like, yo, easy, Louden, yo, and he looks at me, I know you. I'm Louden Swain, Thompson High.
Okay.
And there's a pause, because it clicks on him who this dude is. You think you'll make the weight? He says, I don't know. I hope so. And my man with the log on his back says, I hope so too. He goes back to working out.
All right.
And it did it. It crescendos into the greatest jump roping scene of all time. Of all time.
Okay.
Can't no double dutch ever hold a candle to Louden Swain jumping rope for a minute and a half in the shadows to Lunatic Fringe.
Okay.
Can't do it.
All right. Then I will. This will be homework for me. I will report back next week on.
It's a bad movie.
Oh, you've sold me.
Okay. It's a bad movie.
But it's an absolute movie that you should have seen, right?
Right.
Okay.
And every wrestler that you know has seen it.
I have no doubt about it.
Okay. And they've probably seen it a million times. And they know that Madonna has the title track.
Oh no, I definitely got to see this.
This is Matthew Modine at his best.
The most 80s movie that's ever existed.
So watch this one and then watch Any Given Sunday just for the Matthew Modine scenes, and you'd be like, yo, all right, Matthew, I see you got range. Huh. Go from kind of, innocent teenager to innocent doctor to now I'm just shooting people up. It's fine. I'm good. Straight. Ruining lives with this needle.
Okay, so there's this Matthew Modine extended universe. So he goes from being an over-the-top wrestler to a disgraceful physician to then being a scientist trying to open up a portal to another world.
Oh, you skip one. You skip the hapless police chief. Batman.
And okay, yeah.
Like a rat in a trap, gentlemen.
That is that's a heck of a trajectory.
I told you.
Cool.
Anyway, that I'm of that, right? So it's like, nah, I want Louden Swain. Nothing is over until I get Louden Swain on the mat and I pin Louden Swain. And you know what? Before that, we can just go up and down the pegboard.
Oh, with the
yeah.
Oh,
for real?
No, that's one of my favorite things. Wherever I watch,
it's also in the movie.
CrossFit competitions is
pegboards.
Yeah, and it's just a whole bunch of people like, I thought I was good at stuff.
So no, what it is women that figure out that upper body strength really is a thing, and some of them have it, some of them don't, right? And men who are just too heavy to go up a pegboard. Like, I am perfect to go up a pegboard.
Yeah, no, bird bones and everything. You just no marrow, just helium.
And all lats. All lats, all wings. That's that and shoulders. It's like, oh, cool. All I got to do is hang here limp and just crawl. Cool, I can do that. Because people are like, it's one thing to be crawling up something. It's another thing to actually be putting these pegs into little holes.
Right.
And finding your grips.
No, it's definitely one of those, like, the sports gene is starting to really work out for you when it comes to CrossFit games, which I think as
there was a time when you were like, you should go do that.
I did say that. I apologize.
Nope.
It looked cool at the time. The
workouts look cool when you see them in highlight videos.
Yeah, no, see somebody do like the whatever's gonna leave you gassed for the entire day, and they're still able to like live their life. But that this is still athletic competition, so that now we are able to min max for the body type, and so it's like, oh yeah, so I used to bag on a lot of CrossFitters for just not being good at sports, and a lot of them still aren't very good at sports, but there's enough of them out there
professional workout people.
Right. So there's what's his name? Olympic swimmer.
There's a lot of those.
I know. Help me out here. But the one that got caught with the weed.
Ryan Lochte.
Other one. Subway.
Not Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps.
Really?
So there's a whole bunch of like baby. There's a whole bunch of baby Michael Phelps out there that are, instead of being like 10 feet tall, they're like 5'8", but still a whole bunch of upper body.
Right.
And they were absolutely able to kill this competition. It's like, hey, maybe if you were born with this genetic gift of having, what'd you say, all lats? It's a shame that you decided that
lats, shoulders, chest, upper body. Like my national championship is in power sports, deadlift, curl, and bench.
Yeah. So, you'd be able to beat this entire competition.
Nah, I mean, and learning to shoot pistols was all depth perception and
just the world's greatest weapon. You can also shoot a bow and arrow pretty good, can't you? You're a pretty good archer. Yeah.
I became a pretty good shot pretty quickly. I think because I was a good archer.
Just the black Rambo out here.
Before that, a better bowler. Because when I figured out that it was all just see thing, hit thing. Bowling became
now
easy.
You're a media professional. What's the next thing? You're gonna become like a political wonk. You're gonna go solve the North and South Korean crisis. You're gonna become a pathologist.
Documentaries, movies.
Okay. What's the thing that you want to make next? Was a Bryce Harper thing that you're trying to get into?
No, we'll talk about it off air because I think somebody would take my idea and try to go do it.
Okay. Trying to make I want to make a documentary that's
Bill Simmons better watch his back.
I want to make one of those micro.
I'm coming for your $250 million sale.
Nice. I want to make one of those micro documentaries that's just like that is 2 hours on just a 10-second span, and it's just like it's the Undertaker throwing mankind off the cage. That's pretty much the thing that I think that's my next one up.
Nah, like the 6-minute documentary. I'm coming to like really, really, really enjoy the short form documentary, and the episodic nature of some, because the idea of being able to Charles Dickens through a documentary that reads as quickly or watches as quickly with the elite level of storytelling.
Right. It was the best of dunks. It was the worst of dunks. Yeah, I get that.
And I love telling stories. Any excuse to tell a story, to go find a story. Like, Lane Kiffin was going to be LSU's offensive coordinator before there was a Joe Brady or Steve Ensminger. He had said to Joe Oliva at the time, who was LSU AD, while I'm still offensive coordinator at Alabama in like 2016, this is before he got fired, before the national championship game. So lots happened in Lane Kiffin's life. But he's like, look, I will be LSU's offensive coordinator on 2 conditions. One is Ed Orgeron gets the head coaching job, right? Which is also wildly cool because Ed Orgeron once worked for Lane Kiffin.
Yeah.
And the other one was I don't get a head coaching job somewhere else. He ended up getting the FAU job after getting fired by Alabama before the national championship game. So either way, he wasn't going to be at LSU, but he was going to be at LSU.
Yeah.
I love knowing that story. Or...
And bro, that is the coolest story.
Those sorts of things. I enjoy those. And being able to tell people stories has always been fascinating. Telling my own stories, which is still a thing I'm not so certain that the world allows me to do or wants to allow me to do, is still something I want to do.
That's a thing that I'd actually like for you to do more. Like, you got this channel, and I say this off mic a lot, is that you are a lot about facts. I would love to see a lot of those facts come to some sort of synthesis, and that you just provide insights, because you definitely make people feel smart. But I'd love to see like a school of RJ type thought going on in the things that you make.
probably need to walk that out more.
We'll talk about it later. But
in this podcast, it's probably gonna be called like Vanity.
I mean, isn't that your crush? Isn't that?
Man.
Yeah. Call it Vanity. Rip.
Seventh Heaven. Mm-hmm. Prince. Mm-hmm. If I was a woman, I would be Vanity. Yo. Mm-hmm. Oh man. And then
First off, you know it means something when Prince says it.
You sure look like a master to me. Melt. And then the shade he was getting is like, wait a second. You? Mm-hmm. What's she seeing you? You can't dance. You don't know her music. It's just reeling off all these things. Mm-hmm. I saved her life by accident. I happened to be wearing my kung fu uniform when she was getting shoved into a van.
That's all it takes. You are you the weirdest dude that's ever existed? That's fine. Save somebody's life. Oh man, that's all it takes. That's my dating rule book. Hey guys.
Oh, before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Bob Iger wrote a book. I'm reading Bob Iger's book.
Disney's Bob Iger? CEO
of Disney, Bob Iger.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm enjoying it. But I'm going to relay one story from Bob Iger's ascent. Mm-hmm. He got his first job at ABC as like a studio supervisor, which is like a low-level job where one of your jobs is, at the time, you get there at 4 a.m. in the morning to turn on the lights for the light people to do their jobs. That's it, right? So he's about to get fired from this job because somebody thought that he had literally taken a van home to move his stuff from one apartment to another when he'd been joking about it. But the supervisor apparently was just looking for a reason to ask him anyway. And he saw this job at ABC Sports on the board, applied for it, ended up getting it. It's a little bit more than a lateral move. It's actually a little bit elevated, but it wasn't a whole lot. But it means you're working for Roone Artledge, who is several tiers above you at the time. So it's not like working directly. You see Roone in a meeting, you say hi, he says hi, he keeps walking. And Roone is mercurial, and Roone wants it his way. But Roone also is a scary judge of talent and innovative as all hell. Gave us Monday Night Football, hired all of these white dudes to smoke cigars and played football to be really great analysts.
Okay.
From Howard Cosell to Frank Gifford to Don Meredith, on and on and on. Jim McKay.
Yeah.
Gave us Wide World of Sports, other things. So you're working for this man, but you're not really working for this man. And he's going to take a leak. Roone Artledge pulls up beside him at the urinal, kind of casually looks over at him and he says, "How are things going?" And Bob just was telling truth. Well, frankly, I'm just trying to keep my head above water, which is the thing we all say.
Yeah.
And Roone apparently didn't miss his beat, zips up, says, "Buy a longer snorkel."
Ooh.
And walks off. But that was illustrative of Roone Artledge, who they say never take no for an answer. Mm-hmm. Now, Roone's was, no, this can be done. Mm-hmm. You're just not trying to get it done. Find a way, which is also Steve Jobs, right? It's like, y'all don't make anything. Y'all just tell everybody to keep digging.
Right. Don't tell me you can't.
Right. Mm-hmm. So that form of thinking and those stories like that led to Bob Iger being a dude that was able to get ABC inside North Korea for the ping pong championships to film them at a time when ain't nobody getting inside North Korea to do nothing. Mm-hmm. Okay?
I mean, hey, had they tried hard enough, I wouldn't have to do it.
What I love most about that story is North Korea was up for it. Like, he gone through China. He done all these different things to do it. And then the State Department comes through and is like, you're breaking all kinds of laws. You can't actually do that. And it turned out it's not that they didn't want to go in there. They actually kind of liked that they were going to go in there with cameras and, record some stuff. Mm-hmm. It was that you can't actually give them money. So Bob came up with a way to give the money to the World Federation of Table Tennis, who was going to give the money to North Korea, and still be able to go over there and film.
If you got enough money, it's all legal.
Right, the world. But this was a thing that Roone Artledge had gone to Bob. Is like, hey, World Table Tennis Championships going on in North Korea. I think we should probably do that. Go make that happen. And between go make that happen and him actually getting it on, Roone never knew what it took for him to get that deal done and for ABC to be able to go to North Korea and film the table tennis world championships. And he said, if Roone doesn't have that attitude of get it done or I find somebody who will, you think I'm going to go through the State Department and the World Tennis Federation and like Sweden or wherever and in China and back to North Korea and let them tell me no and then go, no, I'm not. But that was the culture that was at ABC Sports at the time. And then my man took over ABC Sports and ABC News. They were bought and sold by capital cities.
What's the time period we're looking on this? Like late 80s, early 90s?
Yeah, because
Okay.
like this is also like the last time that ABC had the Olympics in '88, I think, because like they had the Winter Olympics for Calgary, and that was bad because it was snowing. It was all the good stuff they couldn't air and make any money. But capital cities bought them, backed by, I forget who was backing them, but it was two dudes that ran a bunch of local TV stations, and then they ran the place well. But they told Roone, you can't have ABC News and ABC Sports, and you're spending money hand over fist. We can't have this no more. No more limousines out front, dog. We can't do that no more. And Roone was like, wait a second, I bring in all this money. Advertisers want to be around all this money.
Don't tell me what to do.
Right.
Right?
So they said pick one, ABC Sports or ABC News. He picked ABC News with the caveat that I get to do the Olympics. Mm-hmm. So ABC News, he hired Diane Sawyer, Peter Jennings, Ted Koppel, like all these other people, you know.
Right. Showing up with the All-Stars.
Yeah, invents like World Nightly News or whatever. Like that's Roone Artledge's legacy.
Okay.
But I want to tell that. I'm probably going to have more to say about Bob Iger in the book. Read a really great New Yorker profile. Read a really great New Yorker essay about can reading make you happier. Learned that bibliotherapists are a thing. Mm-hmm. You know.
Bibliotherapists.
Yeah.
People that are therapists for, or maybe prescribing books as therapy. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Good
No,
stuff.
I'm on board with that.
Yeah. Because there's so many books in the world, and one of the things is we're never going to read them all. And the difference between
Truly makes me sad.
people that don't read novels, and in particular literary fiction, are not nearly as empathetic as somebody who does, which makes all the sense in the world. Because you get the opportunity to try out relationships and try out human interactivity and connectivity with a book before you actually got to go out and do it in the real world.
Mm-hmm. No, that's one of my favorite. That's actually one of my favorite studies are academic truism is that you should read fiction because it makes you a better thinker. It's the idea that you read something that has happened. So something nonfiction, if something is presented to you in a nonfiction format like a textbook or a rather straightforward retelling of events, your brain's not doing a lot of work because the book is doing the work. Yet if you're giving this why fantasy is such a valuable tool is that now you have to imagine what a splendid vista looks like. Now you have to know what or you have to build it for yourself what a palatial estate is, you know. So yeah, I tell the people that I come in contact with that are readers, especially people that say I don't like fiction, I'd say you need to. It is good for you.
And as a rule, people that don't like fiction, not really good people. Like they're not people persons. Mm-hmm. They usually are acerbic.
Yeah.
Right? Bordering on mean without knowing that they're being mean. Or why are you so soft? It's like, yo, man, actually, we're well adjusted. Those of us that cry in public probably read a lot of literary fiction.
Yes.
And my favorite people, for the most part, all read a bunch of literary fiction. Or at the very least, read a lot of non-generic fiction, non-genre fiction. So, I mean, some people think fantasy is genre fiction. I'm not of that ilk.
It depends.
But if you read The Man in the High Castle, we can talk. If you're using The Man in the High Castle to make your point about fascism, probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. I would need you to unearth other things. If you're going to quote Proust to me, also quote the part of Proust where he talks about what reading does for us.
Yes. I'm a person that reads a lot of comic books. So like my favorite one right now is Tom King's Mr. Miracle. And it is very much a whole bunch of superheroes throwing superhero stuff at each other, but really it's about a man and his relationship with his wife and his struggle with depression. And so like it's not so much about go here, plant this flag. It's how do we make it from moment to moment with this underlying hum of anxiety and depression. It's real good because it opens up because now you have to feel with this character as opposed to watch somebody throw a train through a building.
Last thing I will add, I hated Downhill.
Downhill.
Saw it on Valentine's Day with my girlfriend, and she enjoyed it.
Which one was that one?
Will Ferrell, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Hopefully we have enough battery left in this camera, because
Oh wow!
So downhill.
An hour and 10 in, he's like, "Cool, I got something to say."
I've come alive. You've hit me on the thing that I care about.
Well, here's the thing. You talk at the camera because I don't actually want to talk about it.
No, okay. Then there's not much to talk about other than the fact that Downhill is based off this Swedish movie, Force Majeure. And Force Majeure, when it came out, was like my favorite movie of the year, because it stars this dude from this other movie called Klaus. He just has a really pathetic face. He's a really good comedic actor. But this whole movie is what happened. I mean, it's the trailer, so I don't want to spoil it. But the movie is doing so many things that I don't think that Will Ferrell or Julia Louis-Dreyfus can do. And it's so straight, and it's so sad, and it's so funny. And I can't believe that they remade it with SNL's Will Ferrell. That it burns me up. I haven't seen Downhill. I probably might not. I probably might, just so that I can make the comparison. But I would say, everybody, do yourself a favor and go watch Force Majeure. It's only 3/4 in a different language.
Subtitles.
Also has the redhead dude from Game of Thrones in it.
The redheaded dude.
Yeah, the one that's in love with Brianna Tarth.
Who's a scene stealer, like the concierge at the resort. She is also quite brilliant in her role, and I enjoyed her the most. She was the comic relief that I needed, because I'm going, this movie is bringing me so down for all the right reasons.
So how'd your girlfriend feel about it?
I mean, she's with you. She like all the cringy parts.
Okay,
it's a cringe fest.
Whew,
I closed my eyes during this movie.
Oh, this.
I don't know. Y'all can talk about this.
Okay, cool.
I will produce that podcast.
I'm gonna call her immediately after we're done here.
I was about to say, you can sit here, she can sit here. I'll be over there with my 2 cents commentary, making sure that all the switches is running and do drops and stuff.
Okay.
I'll be producer RJ.
Can't wait.
I think the title of this is The Great Aaron Gordon Robbery, cause clickbait.
Okay. Also vanity. Parentheses, vanity.